Our guest today needs no introduction, honestly. He's a two-time Naismith Basketball Hall of Famer. He is the all-time NBA leader in assists and steals by a mile. It's a record that I don't think will ever be touched. He's the greatest point guard of all time. We're super excited to welcome to the DMP City Sports Podcast for a second time, 10-time NBA All-Star, national treasure, and friend of the show, John Stockton. How you doing, brother? Thanks for coming back on.
Hey, it's great to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, we're so excited, man. We've got so many questions. There's so much stuff to talk about right now.
Hey, what's up, guys? Jasper Gonzo here. Another What's Next. Well, we've had a number of professional athletes step up into the fray, shall I say, in regards to the COOF mandates, to the vax mandates, with those wonderful efficacy rates, and said, not for me. You've had Bradley Beal of the NBA. You've had Jonathan Isaac of the NBA. You've had Kyrie Irving, probably the most prominent vocal opponent of it in the NBA. You've had NFL players. Aaron Rodgers, probably the most vocal and probably the most prominent of them all regarding professional players. And you've also had Enes Kanter Freedom, who has stepped up and said, yeah, about that. And also Novak Djokovic, Australian legend and considered probably top 3 greatest tennis players of all time, who said no to the vax, and now Australia is giving him the boot in regards to defending his title, the Australian Open title, and also potentially Wimbledon, London, could step in and say, yeah, Novak, yeah, stay home. But now we have another NBA legend step up. No, we're not talking about LeBron James because, of course, being that he knows absolutely nothing. We are talking about one Utah Jazz all-time steals, all-time assists leader, John Stockton. Let's take a look. This comes out of the Western Journal. NBA icon John Stockton ignores cancellation, says 100 athletes dropped dead after taking vaccine. Wow. What an accusation. John Stockton is one of the greatest basketball players of all time. His renowned career with the Utah Jazz earned him a reputation as one of the greatest point guards and passers in history. He is the NBA's all-time leader in steals and assists. Quote, there's absolutely, positively, will never be another John Stockton ever, end quote. His teammate for pretty much the better part of almost 20 years, Karl Malone. He set the NBA record with 3,265,000 steals throughout his career. Stockton went to Gonzaga University from 1980 to 1984. Gonzaga has plenty of athletes to go on to the NBA, such as Jalen Suggs, Domantas Sabonis, but Stockton, is far and away the greatest legend to ever come out of that university. Quote, some play a position exquisitely, just as it was designed. That will be John Stockton, NBA history wrote about him. But despite his accolades, his legendary status, top 50 greatest players of all time, well, now, of course, it's been extended to 75 because, you got to throw LeBron James in there. Stockton has been banned from Gonzaga home games for refusing to comply with the university's forced and unethical mask mandate. Stockton's jersey hangs from the rafters, as he is a season ticket holder, but he was alerted by Gonzaga athletic director Chris Stanford that he is no longer welcome at the games, as Washington State's spokesman Review reported. Stockton said a conversation with Stanford was congenial, but not pleasant. Basically, it came down to they were asking me to wear a mask to the games and being a public figure, someone a little bit more visible. I stuck out in the crowd a little bit, Stockton said. And therefore, they received complaints and felt like from whatever the higher-ups, they weren't discussed. But whatever it was higher up, they were going to have to either ask me to wear a mask or they were going to suspend my tickets, he added. Stanford issued a public statement from the university's decision. regarding the university's decision, as ESPN reported. Quote, "We will not speak to specific actions taken with any specific individuals," the statement reads. "We take enforcement of COVID-19 health and safety protocols seriously and will continue to evaluate how can we best mitigate the risk posed by COVID-19 with appropriate measures. The recent decision to suspend concessions in McCarthy Athletic Center is an example of this approach. Gonzaga University places the highest priority on protecting the health and safety of its students, employees, and community." Yeah, something like CNN or MSNBC or even the Dementia Administration would send out. Gonzaga requires either proof of the vax or negative test 72 hours before a game. The school also reportedly became stricter with mask mandates after it closed its concessions at the games. Nice. Throughout the pandemic, Stockton has been outspoken about his opposition to the vax, lockdowns, and mask mandates. In Saturday's interview with the Spokesman Review about the suspension from home games, he asserted that the vaccine is dangerous even for athletes. Now, here's where it becomes controversial, whether these accusations can be proven or not. Quote, "I think it's highly recorded now. There are 150, I believe now, it's over 100 professional athletes dead. Professional athletes in the prime of their life dropping dead that are vaccinated right on the pitch, right on the field, right on the court," Stockton said. His claims have not been verified, as the Spokesman Review reported, but Stockton made his opposition to how the pandemic has been handled clear. Last summer, he also added his voice to a documentary called COVID and the Vaccine, Truth, Lies, and Misconception Revealed, as local TV reported. He said Gonzaga's decision to suspend him from home games stresses his relationship with his alma mater. "I've been a part of this campus since I was probably 5 or 6 years old. I was just born a couple blocks away, sneaking into the gym and selling programs to get into the games since I was a small boy. So it's strained, but not broken. I'm sure we'll get through it, but it's not without some conflict," Stockton told the Review. Stockton said his tickets will be reoffered when the masks mandate change. Gonzaga is 15-2 this season and ranked just behind the 18-1 Auburn. With March just around the corner, Gonzaga's odds are looking good. But unless the university changes its mask mandate, it will probably be not until the 2022-2023 season that Stockton will be in the kennel at the games again, Spokesman Review predicted. My thoughts. Good for Stockton. Good for John, for him to stand up to the nonsense regarding these mask mandates, because as we all know, these wonderful cloth masks, these wonderful Chinese diapers, they are wonderful in their protection against the coof. All right. But for Gonzaga to take this draconian attitude regarding mask mandates, especially when you are, and no one is saying that John Stockton deserves any special treatment. He's not saying it. But to make an example out of him in front of the school, the icon, the legend, to do this to him, I think, is a complete insult and a slap to the face, not only to him, but to the alma mater. Now, I don't know what the situation was regarding their closing of the concession stands, but I think it was, in my opinion, from the way I understand it and from what I'm reading, maybe it was nonsensical. Maybe it was based on something, but to take this attitude, to take this approach with its greatest player is stupid. It's asinine. And but when it comes to Stockton making the accusations regarding that there are 150 or 100 plus athletes, professional athletes that have died in regards to the vax, I can't say, well, you know, that's factual. Now, are there instances, are there situations? We've seen a number of professional soccer players regarding heart issues after taking the vax and the booster. We've seen a number of actors who have passed away recently in regards to taking the vax and the booster. So there is enough evidence right now regarding the efficacy or the lack thereof regarding these vaxes and boosters. A number of studies, including the Israel study, have proven that to be factual. Now, have there been people who have died because of the side effects regarding the vax? Yes. Yes. Right now, I think it's reported between 6,000 and 8,000 people, 8,000 Americans, that have passed away because of it. Now, regarding a worldwide basis, we don't know. Those numbers could be astronomical. But of course, those numbers won't be shared because, well, the vax is so wonderful. But regarding Stockton, this is no way to treat an NBA legend. This is no way to treat a Gonzaga legend. And I think it looks very, very bad from the university standpoint and also from the general standpoint overall. And with that being said, I'm Jasper Gonzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more just like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it. And we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.